My name is Karina Harney, Playboy's Playmate of the Year, 1992.
And I'm Echo Johnson, Miss January, 1993. Welcome to the Bunny Chronicles. Let's go. Hi, Karina.
Hi, Echo.
Your bunny is so damn big and it has a red eye. That's what you get for being Playmate of the Year. Look how small mine is.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness.
It
Today we
doesn't.
have a special
Yes.
guest.
Introduce.
This is Bill Farley.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, my gosh, I have so many memories of Bill. I don't know if you even remember me, Bill.
Of course he does, silly.
I know.
So Bill was definitely one of the very, very, very long-term employees with Playboy and really worked a lot with Huff. Tell us how many years exactly you were there?
It depends on how you calculate it, because I started off as a consultant.
Okay.
And probably 25 years all told. Long time.
Yeah. Wow.
I
So you
know.
came in the 80s or the 70s?
Actually, in 1981.
Okay.
Kind of a curious tale how it happened.
Let's hear it.
That's what we want to hear, Bill. I want to know exactly how you ended up in the Playboy family.
Mm-hmm.
Let me back up a little. I'll tell you a couple of quick stories. First of all, I'm about 7 or 8 years old. I'm going for a bike ride with my buddies. And we have our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches our mother made us, and a couple of dimes to get some Cokes. We stop at the gas station. And the gas station guy is working on a car. And we go into the office and we get our Cokes. On the wall over his workbench is this picture of a naked lady.
A naked one?
Ooh.
A naked lady. And we're looking at it and looking at it. And finally he says, "You kids get out of here. That's not for you."
That's not for you.
Spent all summer thinking about that. But keep that in mind because you'll hear about it later. Let me go a few years forward. And my parents got a new television set, which is not that big a deal. It wasn't big a deal.
It was a
back
big deal then, yeah.
It was the TV sets that were like furniture.
They were so big.
So they gave me, as the oldest son, their old television set, which had a screen about the size of an iTablet these days. And it was really a piece of junk, but I had it in my room. And of all things, it had what we used to call rabbit ears on the top.
Oh, yeah.
rabbit
The antennas.
ears would adjust to get a better picture.
Right.
I was looking for professional wrestling. I liked wrestling at
Right.
the time. And I got a little bit past where the wrestling was. I saw this party going on. There's this very slick guy, James Bond hadn't really happened yet, but it was this guy in his tuxedo, and he said, "You have to walk to my party."
Oh, the Playboy After Dark.
Wow.
Oh, it was before that. It was called Playboy's Penthouse.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm watching this, and they're having cocktails, and they're smoking cigarettes. And there's all these great artists, there's Sammy Davis Jr. and Buddy Hackett, and all kinds of people. And these beautiful girls, and this sidekick, Barbie Benton, who was really something special. And he's having all these people over to his house, so to speak, for a party. And I went, this has got to be the coolest thing I've ever seen. This guy is fantastic. But then life moved on. The show went off the air because it was syndicated, and it didn't clear any of the stations in the South.
Oh, that's right. The big controversy of the
On
South.
the same show, it wouldn't clear it. So I kind of forgot about it. Then I went to college, and I got out of college, looked for a career. I started off as a newspaper reporter. Then I became a radio news director. And I became a radio DJ. And then I moved into television news. I worked for what's now called World News Tonight at ABC. It was called the Evening News at the time. And I was working there, very happy. All of a sudden, I moved over to ABC Sports, which is the big deal at ABC. That's where all the money was. That's where all the stars were.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I'm working with Muhammad Ali and people at Howard
Wow.
Cosell.
That's cool.
And then Howard Cosell and I had a falling out, and I was told by Roone Harledge, who was the president of ABC, New York isn't big enough for you and Howard, and he's not leaving. What would you like to do? And he offered me a job in Los Angeles, and I took it. And I worked in primetime entertainment for several years with a number of shows. Then I decided to go out on my own with a partner and produce television shows. And we had done a couple of pilots that hadn't really gone too well. And we were looking for some other opportunities. And the phone rings, and it's a fellow that used to work for Dick Clark. Remember Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dick Clark had a big production company. This fellow would work with us frequently because ABC had Dick Clark shows.
Right.
This fellow said, I'm now working at Playboy, and I work for Hugh Hefner. He said, Hef has got a wonderful idea. He said, Hef has decided he is going to have first and only magazine-sponsored cable television network. And he wants to get it on the air quick before somebody else thinks of the idea.
Sure.
And
Love
the
it.
fellow that called said, I know a little bit about television, as you know, but nobody else here does. We need some people to come in and launch this baby and get it off the ground. Can you guys come in as consultants? And that sounded like a pretty good idea. Bearing in mind, though, I had never subscribed to Playboy. And I had never set foot in the Playboy Club. Probably the only American male that never did. No real reason for that. It just happened that way.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly I'm going to Playboy every day and seeing the mansion and meeting with Hugh Hefner. And we're designing this cable television network.
Wow.
Awesome.
And it was a tough go to get started on that. Because for one thing, a lot of cable's television stations wouldn't carry something that was sexy. That was just too much for them.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. So when you're talking about starting that cable network, is that what like we all did for our like videos when we each were a centerfold each month? We would come on and like host. Oh, so that was the start of that.
Wow.
how
Playboy
interesting.
Television.
Yeah.
We're one step ahead as usual. Behind the original Playboy channel.
Yeah.
To replicate Playboy magazine in a video format.
Right. Okay.
Seriously.
Right.
We have long form interviews with important people in the world. Would have a stupid jokes page. Would have cartoons. And of course, it would have beautiful girls. And we launched it. And the only time we could get, because a lot of cable television stations didn't have the bandwidth to take it as a standalone.
Oh.
It came on in the evening, and daytime was sold to somebody else. The somebody else they sold it to was a religious channel.
How funny.
What
Jimmy
a dichotomy.
Swaggart.
Yeah,
We just
Jimmy
had-
Swaggart during the day, and we got Playboy after dark in the evening.
Exactly how it worked. At 6 o'clock, they were saying, and may the good Lord bless and keep you all until the next time we meet.
And here's my cleavage.
That's hysterical.
Here comes Playboy, and the girls are dancing around. Well, that format didn't last very long.
That's funny.
It just didn't work on television.
Right.
So that's when we started doing a lot of Playmate videos. Videos made up a large percentage of what was on the channel, because that's really what men wanted to see, and men were
Right.
really
All with Trachillis Productions,
That's
correct?
true.
Or were they the
Michael
first?
Trachillis was an excellent producer and did a lot of work, as you know.
Yes.
I feel like he did
my-
everything.
Yes, I feel like he did
for-
everything.
yeah.
But when you first started, there must have been other production companies, and then he was one that stuck.
Well, there were quite a few people that tried their hand at it. It's another curious coincidence. Michael Trachillis learned the business from a guy named Andy Sedaris. Andy Sedaris produced all those B movies that a lot of the girls were in. It was all
That
it
makes
was
sense.
6 explosions, and the girls solved the crime, and everybody was happy.
Right.
Take the clothes off.
So like Trachillas got the context of what Hef wanted for the Playboy.
In fact, Michael's the one that started working for Hef.
Right.
Andy went out on his own and made his own movies.
Right.
I had known Andy from ABC because Andy was in charge of all of college football for ABC.
All the
Wow.
crisscrossing always.
Professional football.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a sort of a rivalry there. Now
Right.
Michael and I were working together.
That's so cool.
That's
I didn't know any
fascinating.
of that history. Thank you for sharing that. Wow.
Yes.
So that was your lead in to really working
I
with
want to,
Playboy.
yes, but I want to ask you how
What?
Remember that bicycle story?
Yeah.
the what story?
The bicycle story?
No.
Oh yeah, the centerfold. When you saw the centerfold and the man said, "That's not for you, kids," you were
I got to learn as much about Playboy as I can, as fast as I can. And I had access to go up to the mansion and poke around.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the library. I see all the bound volumes up
That
there.
was my favorite room and those books.
It's his favorite room, too. That's where he did every interview with that.
Oh, that's right. On that
Mhm.
blue
In the
couch.
library,
Yeah,
yes.
that's right.
I'm poking around in there, and I pull out this one of the early volumes, and I flip open the first Playboy ever.
To Marilyn. Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
I open it, and there's the picture that was hanging in the gas station.
Oh my gosh. Of
Oh,
course.
goosebumps
Of
even more.
course.
Yes, fate. Fate. We all talk about that, Bill. All of us have a story similar.
Yep.
How we
Yep.
came to Playboy. Even
Yep.
Lacey here,
Yep.
she was, telling us
Driving
it's
down
that,
Sunset and saw the big white
What
bunny
about
head.
you with your centerfold? It's
Yeah, everybody has. It's like
the timing.
it was meant to be each person. It was like meant to be that was supposed to
Do
come into
you
your life.
remember what you felt like or just what that experience was when you first met Hef? I ask everyone this because it fascinates me to hear what it was like. Was it one of those things for you where you already knew, okay, I'm going in to meet the boss, El Jefe?
Yes, El Jefe.
I love that.
I love that too.
Or was it, oh, here he is? What was
Were you
that?
terrified or excited?
Are you asking each other, or are you asking
Asking
me?
We're
you,
asking
Bill.
you because
My
we're
goodness.
just yeah.
I was trying to be very professional because I was coming in as a consultant, and I'm going to tell people how to do things.
True.
I sucked it up, and off we went, and went up to Mary O'Connor's little office, and she said, "He's in with Dick. You can go in now." I didn't know who Dick was. I had soon learned who Dick was.
Yeah,
So I went.
Yeah.
And I walk into the office, and there's Hugh Hefner, the guy that had invited me to his party back in the 50s when he was on television.
That's so
Except
cool.
now he hasn't got a tuxedo on. He's wearing a pair of black pajamas and the rumples. He seems like a pretty ordinary guy,
Right?
but he was clearly in charge.
Yes.
There's no question about that.
Sure. That's cool to meet him up in Mary O'Connor's office too.
Yes.
In his element at home working. Always up
As
there.
you probably know, he was a very orderly, very organized guy.
Oh yeah.
Everything went according to a schedule, and you didn't deviate from that.
Yeah, it's like if you had 5 minutes with him, you bet damn
You bet.
sure that you took full advantage of those 5 minutes and got everything across that you needed to do.
And he was so meticulous
Mhm.
and expected everything.
Mhm.
Oh,
He knew
absolutely.
yes.
He, you know what? I actually watching again on the documentary on Prime, that when Hef was a kid and he was tested because he was a genius and his IQ was 156 or 165, was one or the other. So he was a genius.
Almost
I mean, from the
genius
get go, he was. That's what they said, that he was an absolute genius.
Photographic memory.
Photographic memory.
No doubt about that. The man was brilliant at what he did, and the magazine was his child.
It was his love.
Everything else that Playboy did was
Yeah.
like something extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Magazine.
Yep.
was
His love affair.
It lived and died with him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And he loved his playmates.
Yes, and you could see the pride. Echo got emotional this morning. We were just talking about.
But when we were doing our makeup, can you tell we got our makeup done by Playboy artist?
You look fabulous.
But something came up. Go ahead.
Oh, I just started thinking about my Playmate of the Year party and how thoughtful he was with just detail and remembering family members or
remembering every single Playmate's name is what always blew my mind. It was unreal.
Back to production. I'm telling you, I was telling you about the film.
Mm-hmm.
I had produced a movie and he said, no, Karina, you don't want
Playboy.
You don't want Playboy attached to this. She can have done Playboy as the character did, which was brilliant because he understood marketing.
He directed you the right way.
Yes, and turned me on to someone at Hallmark to say, because it was a heartwarming film. But he was a heartwarming person. And we were talking about how everybody that's been a part of the Playboy family are beautiful, wonderful, loyal, family-oriented. It's not what people would ever think. It's not the debauchery. A magazine couldn't exist like that if there wasn't responsible, incredible, talented, brilliant human beings to make that living, breathing brand.
And that came up because we had the two makeup artists there, both that had worked with Playboy. Sarah Cranham specifically, she was an understudy of Alexis Vogel, who was, the creme de la creme.
Best.
And then
Alexis, yes.
And then Michelle Vanderhule. And we were just looking around and we were all laughing and enjoying ourselves. And we all just realized
Michelle started crying.
That if, because of Hef, we are all here. And what a beautiful moment in time that we all got to be a part of. And I started crying and Miss Sarah's like, don't start crying. I just did your makeup.
It's amazing how one man can have a vision. And so many have been blessed by it with careers.
To just have the impact he has on every single person that's been fortunate enough to have a moment in time with Playboy.
Yes.
To be affiliated with it and to be affiliated with Hef. It's like, pinch yourself.
But I get back to memories and with Bill Farley. I always remember Bill with another one of those cheerful, always a smile on your face.
Always. It was a pleasure.
Just made you happy to see him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But also, I wanted everything to go right for you too, Bill. I was
of course,
so intimidated and, want to.
You're such a sweet little piece of
pie.
It's true. It's quite a treat to be working with all these gorgeous young women all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What does your wife think of that? Because you've been married. How long have you been married, Bill?
Oh, we've been married about 25 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
But one of the good things is that Judy was very helpful to me in a lot of respects. And she would come to events, and she's actually a little more outgoing than I am. And she would be talking to some small celebrity, whatever. And she'd drag me over and say, have you met Joe Blow yet?
Oh, that's wonderful
to
have that.
So
yeah.
cute.
Your partner. So wait, speaking about events, I have a question.
But why did your wife call you Joe Blow? Just kidding.
Karina. Oh my God. So speaking of
don't go there.
We got stories. Just like the icing on the cake. Actually, Bill and I were having a funny banter going back and forth via email. And I had said something, and then you were like, oh, there could be something to that. And I was like, you got that right. It's the icing on the cake. And it was just a little funny banter. But let me, speaking of events and being at the mansion and whatnot, there's a story about you and Hef. And Hef was speaking, and you went out to have a cigarette. And what happened?
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
There were three Playmates, including the Playmate of the Year, living in the same apartment building.
Sure.
And it was just a little kind of a quip or something. And I'd mentioned it to him. And Hef got up and he apparently made a pretty big deal out of it and thought it was going to be hilarious. He told the story and nobody laughed. And I was out having a cigarette. I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
I could tell by his tempo when he was going to finish.
Right.
So as soon as he started to wind down, I'd come around and go back up on the platform. So he started to wind down, and he went down to his seat, and I took over the lectern. And I told the same story, but I told it with a little zip to it. And I got a hilarious response.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
And I looked down, and he's right in the front row. He got his
Arms crossed.
Staring at me.
Yep.
Oops.
He said, he thought like this. You see my finger?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I said, okay. So I said, what does it have? He said, don't ever talk anymore.
Oh, I love it.
That is wonderful. He's like, how dare you show me up? Silence.
Oh,
And he was right. I didn't know.
That's so great.
cute.
He's a guy that he's brilliant, and he knows a lot about the world, always did.
Yeah.
But he had some real blind spots. If we have a moment, I'd like to tell you a story. Maybe you were involved. I don't think you were involved in this, with the Carl's Jr. advertising campaign.
Oh, yeah. When they're the girls biting the burger on the car.
Well, they used to do a lot of crazy ads, sexy ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in touch with the advertising agency for them. And they said, what do you think? Can we get Hef to do an ad for us? I said, boy, that sounds pretty good. Let me talk to him about it. And I talked to him. He says, I don't do this. It's not for me.
Not for me.
Let me rethink it. So I rethought it, and I went back to them and said, what's the deal here? They said, well, if you won't go to us, we'll come to him. We don't usually do it. We will shoot at the mansion. If you want some of his girls to be in it, they can be in it. And I said, well, if he does agree, he'll only give you a couple of hours. So we'll make it work. I said, by the way, what is the compensation for this? They said, let's get back to you. They called back next day, and they said, we'll give them $250,000 the day of the shoot and $250,000 additional for the first commercial runs. So it's $500,000. Sounds pretty attractive.
Yeah.
So I went back to them and said, there's $500,000 for you, and your girls can be in the commercial. Plus, you're reaching a huge audience.
Sure.
Of young guys.
Right, right.
Guys that go to Carl's Jr. and love the ads and buy the hamburgers.
Yep.
You're putting yourself in position with a big brand name in a different sector. So, well, you got my attention. Let's do it. So the day comes, and he's upstairs getting himself ready. And the advertising executive comes in with great ceremony, presents me with an envelope. This is from Mr. Hefner. Well, thank you so much. I'll take it up to him. So I took him up. He was in Dick's office. And I said, here's your check. He said, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I started to leave, and I heard this. I said, I said, what's wrong? He said, well, this is only half the amount we agreed upon. I said, well, no, you get half now.
Right.
You get the other half when the first commercial runs in a few weeks. He says, no, you idiot. This is only half of the half. I said, let me take a look at that. They cut him a check. I looked at it. I turned it over. On the back, it had federal tax, state tax, Medicare and so forth, all deducted. And I said, well, this is how they come. He said, what's all this money being taken away for? Said, that's what happens to all of us every 2 weeks when we get a paycheck.
He had no idea.
No idea.
How cute.
Every 2 weeks.
This is the real world, Hef.
Wow, that's interesting.
The federal government. He said, well, how can they do this to me?
How can they do this to me?
Oh my
That's
It worked out pretty
wonderful.
well. the commercials ran and they were very
I remember those.
So he ended up doing it?
Yes,
I didn't know
yes.
that.
You don't remember those Hugh Hefner, Carl's Jr.
And it
commercials?
was kind of an ordeal for him because you know how he eats. He only eats certain things.
Yes.
Yeah, very particular.
His entire
And
life.
They actually had a truck that was the dressing truck, for lack of a better term, for the hamburgers. Because every time he picked up a hamburger, took a bite, there was a guy sitting on the floor next to him with a bucket
To spit it out, right?
spit it out in the bucket.
Right.
They didn't want anything less than a perfect hamburger.
Right.
They brought in like 600 hamburgers.
Wow.
Constantly feeding him hamburgers.
Wow.
That's wild.
He was getting more queasy.
Did he
as time
like
went
them
on.
though?
He was getting more queasy by the moment, I bet. Like, bleh.
It worked out fine.
That's
Aw.
great. How wild.
Every now and again, there'll be strange little moments that would happen. You
Well, that- I
realize
mean,
he's
that-
human also.
Yeah, I mean that's the best part, to have these like memories of one-on-ones with Hef, or things that had happened, and it's so special. So your title was president or vice president of communications?
Well, it varied over the years. I kept grabbing other jobs.
Right.
When I ended up, I was vice president of marketing events,
Okay.
largely pertained to the mansion.
Right.
I was vice president of Playboy Jazz Festivals.
Okay.
I was president of a model agency.
Oh,
So I had
okay.
a pretty full boat.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, that's right. Your office was right there by Playmate Promotions. I remember that. Is that right?
As a matter of fact, that reminded me of something that I thought I'd mention to you.
Yeah.
My office originally was on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, I remember that building. That's where I shot my
And
centerfold.
Playmate Promotions was right across the hall.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the girls came to get assignments and this and that.
Sure.
And I would be sitting at my desk with a client of some sort of media person or somebody from an ad agency, whatever, having a meeting. And they'd be facing me and I'd be facing toward the door. There were a couple of playmates that had a habit of, they'd appear in the doorway. The guy couldn't see them, but I could.
But you could.
Over the shoulder. And they go whoop and flash.
Oh, I love it.
That is
That's
awesome.
so
And you have to
funny.
keep
I
a
wonder
straight
who it
face while
was.
talking to the client.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
That's not a bad day's work.
No, he's like, anyway, yes. That's classic.
That brings to mind another. I won't name this person because you probably know her. Sure, you know her. But we had a girl that came through one time who had really lived with a couple of hippie parents. They kind of lived off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
How we ever found her, I don't know. But she was there for her shoot, and they were shooting on the roof. She had been up on the roof, and she wanted to go down to change her clothes and probably go home.
Right.
I didn't know all this. I'm just in my office. Suddenly I hear this voice going, help, help, pathetically. And I poke my head out, and I see this girl in a bathrobe standing in the elevator going, help. And I walked out and said, what seems to be the problem? She says, I'm stuck in the elevator. I said, no, you're not stuck in the elevator. The elevator door is open. You can't be stuck. She says, but I can't go anywhere. She had never
been in an elevator.
What?
Whoa.
Wow, that's a
button here, and it will take you down where you want to go.
Wow.
wow.
That's wild.
Poor thing.
Yeah. Where did she come off the grid and like
Gosh,
became a
the
playmate?
hills of West Virginia. That's
Those
my
Appalachians.
folk. Those are my folk.
Wow.
Wow.
Somewhere between Los Angeles and
The
Like
East Coast.
hippie compound, like a real hippie
Yeah.
compound.
Nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
That's
What
how-
year was that?
I don't want to tell you.
Oh,
Come
you're
on,
so
you can't
sweet,
tell
Phil.
us who
You're
it
awesome.
was.
That's
It
amazing.
was in the early 90s.
Early 90s.
Aw.
I think I know who it is. It was me.
It was Echo.
No, I'm kidding.
It was Echo Johnson.
It wasn't me.
She's still.
I
doesn't know how to
was a
use the
hippie,
elevator.
but I did know
we
how
were
to use
stuck
the
on the elevator earlier,
Yeah,
and I'm
that's why
like,
we were
Echo,
late.
step off of it. The
I can't.
door's open.
was a very strange moment.
I imagine.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Well,
Actually, it wasn't in the 90s. So it had to be in the late 80s because that's when we were in Sunset. We moved after that.
Actually,
it was
wasn't
like
it
90
the mid-90s?
No, it's like 92 or no, it was 93 or 4 that you moved because I shot my centerfold there. And then all of a sudden you guys were in Beverly Hills office, which was so nice. I loved that office.
Yeah. I was there when it was on Sunset.
Right. Exactly.
And then when it moved. Yeah.
Right.
You remember that the statue that was in the lobby of the Beverly Hills?
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the big hurricane in the earthquake in 94.
Uh-huh.
And I lived not far away. I was like 10 minutes away. I lived in over by Paramount Pictures. So I hop in my car. I race over to the building. And of course, the elevator's not working. So I run up 10 floors to get where I'm going. And I ran across the head of security. And he says, the statue got knocked over by the earthquake.
And you said, thank God.
Yeah, but it didn't break.
Oh, bummer.
Did they keep it sideways on the ground?
They made another art display out of it.
Back up. It was one of Christie's ideas.
Oh,
That's funny.
So I actually have to share a story. Oh wait, no. Michael Lee shared that story. I was thinking it was Stephen Randall because unfortunately Stephen Randall's not going to be able to come on the show with us. But it was the story. Remember that Michael Lee told us about Chrissy had come in and they were starting to do like the VHS tapes and It was that time, and Chrissy wanted to do a completely different look than what Playboy was, and so they were having a meeting up at the mansion, and Michael Lee's sitting outside and John Luther comes walking up and he's like, Hef wants to see you right now. He's like, okay. So he goes inside and Hef is pissed. He's like, what the hell is this?
Chrissy had given the order.
Yeah. And then Michael goes, and he goes, I'm waiting for names. And Michael's like, it was your daughter, Christy. And then he started chuckling and he goes, no, she doesn't know anything about art. You leave that to me.
Yes,
it was such a great story. It was so funny.
Let's raise your one back. There was a reporter from New York Times, as a matter of fact, who was doing an interview with that. And it was a female reporter, and she asked him, she said, I understand that your daughter, Christy, is the chairman and CEO of the company, and you're the founder of it. What happens if you and Christy disagree? He says, well, we don't really disagree very often. We agree on most things. And a couple of minutes later, she rephrased the question and said, tell me what happens when you and Christy disagree. And he says, I told you, we agree on most things. We're working things out.
Mm-hmm.
And move on. A couple more questions. And then she came back. She wouldn't let this go. She said, I have to ask. There must be something that happens.
Something.
That you and Christy strongly disagree.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, I just remind her who owns the company.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Of course.
Can I ask him the question I ask everyone?
Of course. Go ahead.
If you could relay to Hef as if you were at his memorial service or just in memoriam,
I think it would be a simple thank you.
Aw, I love that. Just
Because,
thank you.
He didn't know who I was when I first came into the company. And I left the company after our consulting was over. That was the end of the contract. But I had made quite a few friends within the company, the executives and so forth. And I had offered my services if they needed some extra help. So they kept feeding me projects to work on, even though I wasn't working for Playboy anymore. In fact, in 1984, I still continued to do projects for Playboy, mostly writing projects,
Mm-hmm.
even though I had gone over back to ABC again and was working as the manager of international press for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole year was chewed up by the Olympics. I still found time to keep in touch with my old friends at Playboy. And then when the New York City club was going to be open, the fellow that then was kind of half fixer and PR guy had to spend 2 months in New York City to start that club. And that meant no one was covering his job.
Mm-hmm.
He knew me pretty well. So he hired me to come back in and fill in for him while he was in New York. So I did that. So then I was dealing with that again on a one-to-one basis because a lot of it was media. And then this fellow decided to go into a different line of work, and he left. And I'm already sitting in the office. So they said, well, just stay there. We'll hire you. I said, okay.
Perfect. That was easy.
Just stay. Exactly.
Perfect. Yeah.
Left from 1985 to 2005. And I was very grateful for that job because here I am working with one of the most iconic people of the 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
And I can argue with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he listens.
Mm-hmm.
You may not agree. You may want to get his way, but
Yep.
you will hear your argument out and let you
Exactly.
say what you think is right. He was not big on praise, as you know.
Mm-mm.
But in fact, Judy was there because she's the one that really was caught it and was more stunned by it. We were doing the rehearsal for Halloween. You know, Halloween became the
Oh my
biggest
God, the
party.
coolest parties ever.
I
Halloween.
never went to one.
I got to go to one, and then my stupid friend got too drunk and we had to leave. I was so
Oh my
pissed.
God.
Oh, that's a shit.
I know. It was awesome.
I missed out on.
That cost about $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
mean-
He gave.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, he gave the very best parties.
Oh, period. But
And-
but the Halloween, you would have loved it. There was literally
I've seen
there was
pictures, I
coffins
can't
and people
imagine.
jumping out of them, and this scary house. I mean, it was over the top. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
Well, you see, I hated Halloween. But it
Until
also was a good media opportunity.
right.
You know, he wouldn't let any press come to his parties.
Which
So you
was
could-
beautiful. That's why all of the celebrities were so comfortable there. That
Exactly.
privacy
Mhm.
factor. He respected.
We could do a certain amount by cutting some video that Barney Fox had shot and putting together a list of celebrities and sending it out, which we did. We sent out maybe 20 videos and press releases after every party. So that's why I was there.
I was always wondered like how the celebrities were up there, if it was like they had a relationship with Hef or what.
But
That
for
makes
Halloween,
sense.
I didn't want to go to the party. I just didn't want to get stuck with it.
Right.
Oh,
But they were having little rehearsal in the afternoon for the big night the next night. And it occurred to me, if I could just get Hef to move it a little later into the evening, I could invite some media to come over to the dress rehearsal.
Mhm.
They could shoot all the attractions and the fun without the celebrities and go behind the scenes.
Mhm.
smart.
Every
Smart.
year somebody did. And I'd work that and I wouldn't have to go to the party. And one year, Hef was out in the front yard and they were shooting some stuff with him in the graveyard and so forth. And he walked back into the house. And as you walk back into the house, as he passed me, out of the corner of his mouth, he said, "Oh, thanks a lot."
Wow.
You sound just like him when you say
He
his
does.
voice.
He has his mannerisms,
Yeah.
like even the way he talks.
Yeah. You sound just like him. Thanks a lot, Bill. That's awesome.
lot.
How funny.
Wow.
You guys know the story of the first issue?
Yeah, I do. Well, yeah,
We're not-
I think Karina does as well. Yeah, we know it well that that he went and purchased the picture of Marilyn, and that also that he tagged Art Paul to come on board immediately and design.
Well, what maybe he didn't say to you is that in his own mind, he was only doing this for his close friends.
Well, he thought
Oh.
one issue and that was going to be
Yeah.
it.
Well, I don't know this. Explain it to me.
He got some fiction that was out of the copyright, so it was free. And I think he did a couple of articles himself. and the pictures.
And he did
Did the whole
the
thing. I did know
drawings,
that.
the animation in the first issue, first couple
He was
issues.
a cartoonist, so
Yeah.
he was able to design a lot.
Right.
He figured this will be a lot of fun, and maybe a couple people will buy it. Sold out immediately.
Yeah.
You know what? He said to himself, "Oh, now I got to make a second one."
I'm on to
At
something
the
here.
kitchen table.
I'm on to something. And then it became
with Vic and Art Paul.
fun, creative
That's wild.
empire.
Yeah,
I have a story.
didn't he like print 75,000 and 50 some were sold off the newsstands for the first issue? I think it was
The first
something.
one.
Yeah, something
The
around
first
there.
run was 50 and it sold out.
Yeah.
Wow.
By 1960, it was selling over 1 million.
Yeah,
which was
exactly.
pretty huge for a magazine.
That's
Now,
phenomenal.
you mentioned Vic. Do you know about the falling out with Vic?
No, I don't. And I did talk to Marilyn Cole briefly, and we are going to get on the phone again and talk. And she had some really good suggestions for me as well in terms of bunnies from the London clubs and New York clubs. But I didn't get to go into detail about Vic. So tell.
She's a gem.
She's amazing. Thank you for referring me to her.
She was the first British Playmate of the Year.
Yeah.
And I knew her, but I didn't know her really well until the 50th anniversary when she came out, as many of the older Playmates did, and we had the big events and so forth. And I had mentioned to Marilyn that we had planned to visit England in a few months. And she said, "You must come visit us when you come to England."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nice to say, but so what? She's not going to come through on it. Well, sure enough, we got to England. I had let her know we were coming in. And she said, "You must come to the house." We did. And I actually had another couple with us, too. It was people they didn't even know. Marilyn invited us over. We picked up some flowers. Turns out her husband, Vic, loves flowers. He and Hefford had a big falling out over the casinos in
That's right. He ran all the casinos, right? Or was in charge of that?
He did.
Yeah.
And Heff was told by somebody that Victor was skimming from the casinos.
Ooh, not good.
Pocket. Everybody in the business skims from casinos.
Mhm.
That's what happens.
Right.
But instead of confronting Vic and say, "Look, Vic, don't do this or give me a cut," he sent some flunky over to fire him. Vic said, "Gee, that's a shame. I guess I'll have to take this other set of books. I have 2 sets of books, and hand it over to Scotland Yard."
Oh, wow.
Well, that was the end of the license for the casinos.
It's too bad.
Wow.
That's-
Whoa.
For about 20 years.
Mm.
Meanwhile, he owned this fabulous place in London. And Victor had also set up he was a backer of a play, and he had us go to the open play, and we had some lunch, and so we had a great time. And Vic turned out to be, Vic was the Playboy that F really wanted.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
he taught.
kind of,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
because
He really
he
brought
really
Hef out of
was a
his shell.
Playboy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Hef was not. That's
No,
what's
Hef was the guy that wanted to be. And
Right.
Vic was cool. And
yeah.
anyway, it was a great little visit.
You know what was interesting was finding out again from watching the documentary, or no, it was actually from it was either you or Marilyn, but Vic died literally 4 months before Hef.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say, Bill, about your visit,
Well,
your
I
wonderful
went
visit?
back to my job, of course, but I'm finished with vacation. And I'm thinking, how am I going to deal with this? So I went up and I'm in with Dick and Hef and talking about business. And Dick says, "How was your vacation in England?" I said, it was really quite good. And I turned up, I said, "By the way, I had lunch with Vic. He sends his regards."
Oh, Hef said, yeah, how was your vacation? Yeah. Wow. That's how he looked. He was like,
Did you know at the time about all of those
Of course,
things?
they'd had all in the past.
I know, but Bill may have not.
He had lunch with Vic.
Oh.
But I think that opened his mind a little bit because
to let bygones be bygones.
Vic started coming back to some of the parties.
Oh, good.
Wow.
I love that they mended their relationship.
That's fun that
Yeah.
you built, made
Look
that
at you.
bridge
You were the
again,
bridge.
conduit for an old rekindled friendship.
That makes me happy to know that.
That worked out pretty well.
And so Vic and Marilyn were married until he died. They were married forever, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, she'll be a fun one.
Vic came to the 50th anniversary party in New York, which is a pretty big deal. So
yeah, I keep thinking that was the one with the Jet Bunnies, but that wasn't the 50th anniversary.
That was in Las Vegas with the Jet Bunnies.
No, in New York at the hotel, and we had was that the 50th? So that was the 50th anniversary.
No.
Huh.
Do you guys remember the Comedy Central roast?
No, I haven't watched that. You told me to pull that up. Who roasted him? I have it in here somewhere.
It was kind of the B team, but there were some pretty good. Jimmy Kimmel was the MC.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to pull that up and watch that.
What year was that?
It was 2001.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we definitely need to watch that.
It took about a year to.
Dick Gregory. You said something about Dick Gregory, or maybe Stephen Randall told me that Dick Gregory did a funny roast to him.
Dick Gregory was one of the biggest Hef fans around.
Okay.
This particular one, this roast took about a year to set up because the Friars Club had to be involved, Comedy Central had to be involved, and of course we had to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of machinations and back and forth on various monies and it was all set. And then 9/11 happened.
Oh.
We were scheduled a week later to tape the show. So, of course, his phone calls are flying all over the country. What the hell are we going to do? This is a disaster in New York City. We're supposed to be taping a funny. One thing we had going for us is it wasn't going to air until November, even though it was being done in September.
Mm-hmm.
So we dutifully all got on planes, and there was nobody on the plane.
No, I can imagine.
Flew into New York, and we shot the piece. And what we did is we made a deal between the Friars Club and Comedy Central and Playboy, put together $1 million
to donate to the
firemen.
Good.
Cops.
I love that.
And those are the things that Hugh Hefner did that, he
was such a philanthropist.
And like you said, Bill, he did not want the credit for anything. He would never say, look what I'm doing. Nope. I'm giving. It was from he knew what was right.
Thank you for sharing that.
That's what was right.
After 9/11, that's amazing. I love that.
My Playmate of the Year party was during a historical, I mean, it wasn't 9/11 but it was horrible. The Rodney King.
During the riots?
Yep.
Yes.
Rodney King riots.
And instead of, and it was beautiful what he said. And there was no media because planes were grounded. The National Guard was coming in. He said, no. Today, in a time of chaos, we're going to celebrate a thing of beauty. And it was his choice to go through with it. He didn't allow things to deter him, but he wasn't less compassionate over it.
Of course not.
He just was a thinker. Like I said, right brain, left brain. He was a thinker and not an emoter. Which is what made him great and be able to execute
big time.
And even all the way through history, the things that he went through that were pretty catastrophic that might knock someone else.
Yep.
Knock them without the character, without the fortitude, would have knocked them out of business.
Absolutely.
And he always just he thought through and he knew who to assign to what. I mean, look.
Yeah.
The people
it speaks
that
for
we're
itself.
interviewing.
Everybody we're interviewing has been there anywhere from 20 to Pat Lacey being the longest,
and
54
Bill Farley,
years.
Every single one of the people that we're speaking to are an example of Hef knowing what he needed.
Yeah, exactly. And keeping those people in their role. And he was just as grateful to everybody.
Because it's more comforting, and he understood them going on Comedy Central. He's not going to mess everything up.
It's not about him. He brought levity to the situation.
Yes,
okay, let's go ahead and do this and then donate because he's a total philanthropist. I love that.
But yet understands the importance of what comedy is, what entertainment is, and what it does for people.
It was a real landmark because it was the first time I've ever been able to put on a tuxedo, have a good meal, and watch people make fun of my boss.
I bet that was awesome. I bet that was outrageous, especially the way he was. I mean, I think of even the butlers, no fraternizing with the guests.
Oh my gosh,
you know,
that was such a great
all
show.
business. So for you guys, that must have been a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
So we have a couple more minutes, Bill, but I want to end with one question, and then you can ask some other with Playboy coming to an end and with Hef passing. How did you feel about no Hefner name being attached to the company when Cooper also just left? I mean, it just was over, right? It just was what it was.
Let's be honest. I saw the end coming.
Yeah.
Pretty long before it did, because the numbers were going down.
Sure.
Society had changed a lot.
Right.
The internet was a killer.
the internet was a killer because Instagram models, everybody's
well,
in
no, not even that. It was like, and when the .com, I mean, Playboy was completely unaware of it. And I had conversations with Cindy Rakowitz, with Christy Hefner, with a bunch of people. You better start a department because this is coming fast and furious. So they were definitely behind
But
on
also with the climate now, I would love to hear Hef's thoughts on so many things, just because he had such a brilliant mind and was able to, kind of assess what's going on in history in a very fascinating way that was never biased. It was very objective. And I miss objective journalism instead of, and he was a thinker. And he would investigate, okay, what is this organization? And he would make people think because of that. Yes. And made an influence and a difference. And kept people responsible, even with the interviews. They'll never be a magazine.
It just is what it is. It's Oh, we miss you. We love you.
I tried to copy it, but nobody ever got.
No, it'll never happen again. Look, it was a moment in time, and just how gracious he was to include all of us to be a part of it, and for that we are eternally grateful and blessed, and that's why we're here right now doing this. So we're gonna put the celebration of life party together. We're gonna throw a huge event for Hef
in his honor, the way he would have had it.
Exactly, since nothing was done for all of us to be able to go and share and just reunite with each other,
the family.
I think that would be a really hot ticket.
Yeah, I think so too.
I can't wait to give you a big hug, Bill.
I know, a big snuggle.
Oh, 3 words that describe Hugh Hefner.
To you.
Brilliant. Stubborn. And surprisingly, loving.
Yep.
Wow.
I really feel that he had a special relationship with women.
He did.
People thought he's a womanizer.
No.
Loved his women.
He was a protector and he was empowering. Yeah, he was empowering and he protected us. He was a mentor. He was also our teacher. I mean,
I never felt safer than when I worked for Playboy. It was, and I was very, very young. And I think a lot of girls feel this way and have been through the same thing where you're treated so well. Yeah. Then you go out. It's almost like you go out into the world and you're like,
what's wrong with you
and
people?
You're thinking, wow, that there's not integrity. There's not in a business or a corporation or whoever you're working for, or there's vulgarity even. I've been through that where I'm going to do a photo shoot.
Well,
and I'm
how about last night? Karina and I come home to our hotel and sit in the lobby and have a drink, and there's a man in there, and he gets stood up by his whore. He said that and word. I said, you got stood up by what? And he goes, my whore. And I said, you mean a call girl? And he goes, yes, a whore. So he thought we were the call girls and trying
we had our makeup on from today.
And we were like, no, we're not the call girls. We're playmates.
Yes.
It was so funny. It was so random.
He was an older gentleman. And anyway, it was interesting.
Oh, and then check this out. We're walking out the hotel yesterday, me and Karina and Lacey, standing on the sidewalk, Mark Saganor. Like, what?
There was Mark. Haven't seen him
forever.
And he was always with Hef when I saw him.
Yes, he was standing outside our hotel yesterday.
Isn't that?
And we all ran into, and I'm like, I need your number. I've been trying to get a hold of you. Lacey was there. So
now he'll be coming on. We'll have Mark.
It was funny.
I thought he was in jail someplace. place.
Was he for what? Oh, I want to hear
Oh,
this.
God.
Why would he be in jail?
Okay, well, it's time to go. Lacey's like falling out of her chair over there.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
One quick little thing that might tie into what you're saying. I asked him one time, I said, what if you weren't able to publish the magazine with Playmates in it? What would you do? He thought about it for me. He said, I publish a literary magazine. And as he walked away, he said, nobody would read it.
That's adorable. What a moment.
The catalyst, the engine that made the magazine work was the Playmates.
Was the Playmates, but it was a men's lifestyle magazine. That's what it was created for. And like he said, well, of course I'm going to have women in there because what's the number one thing on a man's brain? Sex. So he nailed it. Well, my God, what a pleasure, honey, to see you and to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill.
My pleasure.
It's been an
In case
honor.
in case you don't remember the beard, this was my COVID beard.
I think you look very handsome.
It's
I like it a lot.
amazing.
I like it.
In 6 weeks, it'll be all gone. We'll just stay home.
We'll have you
watch
back
your
on
game,
and we'll call you something
smoking
else.
over. I said, I'll grow a beard till it's over.
I love it. I think you can rock it.
Yeah.
I think it's
good job. I love it.
Well, we love you.
Say
and
hi
we're
to your
grateful.
beautiful wife.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You got
it's great
it.
to see my old friends again.
You got
Aw.
it. We'll be in touch.
And let's make it not so long for the next time.
True story. We're going to do that party. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
we're definitely gonna. We'll all be together with that big celebration of life. So, and again, you have been a wealth of information and getting me in contact with a lot of people. So, thank you very much, Bill. I couldn't do this without you. Truly.
Well, in terms of the future for this podcast, let's just use
The future's
old
bright.
What? Okay. Yes, sir. We will.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, honey. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.